All right, I believe we are live. Let me verify. Yes, we are. Okay, so the standard procedure, I tweet the link and we're ready to go. Yes. There we go. It's tweeted. It has been tweeted. So this is where we ended up last stream. And I'm pretty happy with what we got here, but I was looking at this right now before the stream and noticed a few things that I think we could improve actually, so we'll get on that today. And yes, I have the board that I've been basing this off my previous design here. Sorry, just checking because YouTube says like the stream health is orange, so it's not perfect. I'm not sure what we can do to improve that, but whatever. So yeah, on last stream I was basing it on the latest revision of this board, which had like cut off corners here because the case design was slightly different. Like it went all over on both sides of this board. But for the first revision at least, I would like to test something more similar to this, which is a slightly older revision of this board. If we give it a second, which is, you can see here, we can fairly easily make a case for the back without having to make one for the front, and that might be good enough. Or you can still do it for also the front. I mean, depends how you use these holes here. So today we'll be basing the design on this one, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, the stream health is now green, so we are properly synced. I think everything is good. I see we have some viewers. Seems to be fine. But yeah, another thing that I mentioned on previous stream is I was kind of sad that we could only have 2 buttons to the sides of the joystick, because 4 would be so much nicer to have. And we only could have 2 because I was out of pins on this SAM-D20 here. But the nice thing with the SAM line is that, I mean, they come in multiple packages, multiple options here. So I could actually fairly easily upgrade that from SAM20, what was it, E, to a SAM20G, and that gives us 16 more pins. We only need the 2, but I think the price-wise, it's not a big bump. So I think we'll do that today also. We'll replace that chip with this version of it and see how that looks. The problem here is I'll have to create a symbol for that, and that's not super exciting. So I'm not sure if we should actually start with that. I think if I base it on this, it might go fairly fast. But what I can start with here is actually adding the extra buttons. And now we need a better names for them. Or we just, oh, nice. I didn't notice this before, that there's a drop down that actually can, I guess, autocomplete for you. Let's just go like write 1 and write 2, and that should be good enough. Then also need to rename the actual buttons. Nope, that's wrong. But yeah, I see we have some viewers now. So how is everybody doing? Let me know in the chat. How are you? What are you doing? What are you working on? As I mentioned before, I want these streams to be kind of a way to hang out with people as I Kicad. So it's not one-sided. the chat is right there. Please use it, please. So also I can get some, you know, entertainment as I do this. All right, so we're gonna have to, let's go here. Now I need to find a pinout, 48 pins, SAMG. There we go, and it's a QFN we're going for, so there it is. And then, yeah, I was just checking the prices here, so you can see we can actually compare them, because why not? I actually don't remember. The M stands for the QFN, so for sure one of those, but price-wise, one is like tape and the other one is tray, so doesn't matter really for us here. We're not gonna pick and place these. A tray is good enough. Yeah, let's give Mouser a second. That's taking a bit longer than expected. Okay, we can go. We can get back to that. Let's see, Kicad, that's the wrong one. This one. Microchip. That's a lot more than I expected, actually. SAMD. Exactly, they only have the 9 and the 10. They don't really have the 20, which I need. I'm not sure how. Huh. Well, that explains why it was taking so long. Is all of Mouser just dead right now? Or was it just that website? That one compare page? Yeah, there we go. Just a slight hiccup. At this point, I could just compare the prices. It's taking longer than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be convenient, but yeah. See, so it's 8 euro cents like before VAT, but it's really nothing, and we get 16 more GPIOs over here. So, or actually, it's 12 more, but I guess there's some more grounds and VDD or something like that. So yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. But I'm not sure if there's a point in copying, because they're probably, like, how much overlap is there between these two? So this is, oh, this is the J. Oh, so the E comes last. That's a bit strange. Or it's not this one, it's right. Yeah. Right, so it's 0. First it's A. Okay, there's some overlap, but I have to be careful not to screw it up. Okay, let's duplicate it and see how we get from where we can get there. I need to rename it. Okay, there's the G, and I think this should allow us to do a fairly good comparison. Uh, 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 5. Yeah, that's where it falls apart already, so not so useful. Yeah, you know what, let's start over. I think it might be more problem than it's worth. I might get confused and screw up the whole symbol. And this is, it's not a problem to do it this way. We're gonna need more space. Ah, Kicad. The pin is not. Oh, what the heck? Are we on the wrong grid? Yes, we are. Now we're on the right grid. Yeah, it seems like such a obvious thing to have. Wouldn't you assume that people will have pins that have leading zeros and the insert logic should have that? Apparently not. So we have the ground, the analog ground. I actually don't care because I'm not using any analog stuff, so I'll just connect that to all the other grounds. And that's some pins first. And we have the VDD, pin 6. Uh, 11 is on 16, so that worked out. Yeah, I think also from the perspective of the code, it should not be many changes. I think the SDK is flexible enough, and it's the exact same amount of RAM and flash, so really it just should be the extra GPIOs, that's it. So that should not be a problem. 17 power input, and then since we already have ground, we will make this passive on top of this ground. And then we continue with the GPIOs. Quite nice because this is such a simple chip, just grounds power, and then you go with the GPIOs. What is this bidirectional? Yes, 11, and then they trick you with the 12, but it's a PA12, so it's totally different. And I wrote that wrong. Oh no, it's 12, that was correct. 15. Up to 25. That's correct. All right. Then we have ground, 35. And another VDDIO on 36. So we're actually gonna connect them together also. And then on 37, we have 22. And then PA27, 39. Yeah, these are the more boring parts, so it's good to get them out of the way. Do the more interesting things. Wait, am I? No. I thought I forgot the input display. In the right corner, right bottom corner, you have the keys I'm pressing. I thought that was, I didn't turn that on, but no. All right, VDD core. That's actually a power output if I recall, because that's just a decoupling. Yep, you can see it here. So that's on 43. And 44. All right, that's all of them. Nice and easy. I want to just check how I arrange them here. I arrange them by pin number because it makes it easier to know how you're gonna route them. So I'm gonna do the same here. I'm just gonna put this here and this one here, so I have a reference because this works quite well. So we have the special pins, we move here, reset, and one more thing I need to do is find out where the SVD pins are. That's a lot of GPIOs, which is good because that's what we need. I think the SVD pins are actually the same for every package. Yes, exactly. So on G, clock is on 45, which is PA30. So that's clock. And IO is on 46, PA31. Yes, and that's bidirectional. Now we need to flip these. I did call it VDA here, but doesn't matter really. Somewhere. Somewhere here. And this one. Oh, I forgot the IO. So actually let's move everything to off. And the ground here. And add some color to it. See, and that's it. Like, that's how simple that is. And then we just place it somewhere. It's a bit off. Right, so what else we can do here? Actually, let me check. Yeah, I have all the pins. And we can assign the data sheet. which we can actually copy from here, which I also didn't assign. All right. There's the datasheet, and then we can do the footprint also because it's faster this way than going through that other window. We have a 48, we need a dimension for it. Where is it? Usually it's by the end, or is it not by the end this time? There, yes, or not, that's packaging of a different kind, but this will do. Yeah, so this is 9 by 9. No, that's 64, we have 48. 48 QFN, yes, that 9 by 9 was quite big. 7 by 7, we have a pad, so it's one of these over here, and they're all 0.5 pitch, so we just need the pad size, which is 515. So it's this one. Let's double check. 7 by 7, 515, 48. Correct. You can see a 3D model. Looks good. Okay. Yeah, I think that's that. So then, right, I will need to adjust a few things here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, 12 more. So most of these things we can just let's move it away more. Yeah, so these things just work. The core, I would assume also, but then for the yeah, for the VDD in, we might want to double check that. Now let's leave this. Right, so we want to see where the UART is, and that was actually undo PA22. So I think that's, we also want PA22 here because yeah, the max is the same. PA22 is yeah, serial So yeah, pin 31. And these also stay the same. So at least these two we need on the exact same. Because I mean, I could use a different I2C, but then the code I will have to modify. So it's way easier to just reuse PA8 and 9 right here. And then it's all good. I could even reuse it exactly, so oh no, it's gonna be a bit more complicated because they are not exactly laid out the same. Yeah, so for that, let's skip. Right, the data sheet. And then they should have this nice section called Schematic Checklist. Perfect. Yes, and this defines the decouplings. Come on. And VD in connects to the 3 volt. Yeah, so it looks like all we have to do is just add one more 0.1. Oh, how many VDDs did we have here? So we need to add 2 more 0.1s. Yes. All right. So to do that, something strange here. Fine, I copied the wrong one. One of these and one more. Yeah, so then we have all the decoupling we need. That one seems a bit random. Should be on the analog one. I'll remember for sure. Right, so all we need here is, right, I need to rename these buttons or just copy them. And I'm thinking if we need, like, what we could use the extra GPIOs that we have now in our disposal here, but there's not really anything we can use them for. They're just gonna go slightly to waste. Right, so I will again, I will connect these later to see what's the best way to lay these out on the PCB. And you know what? I will be right back. And we're back. Yeah, by the way, tell me, let me know how's the audio today. Is it better than last time? Same? I'm using the microphone I used last time. I think it was working quite alright, so yeah, let me know. And here, yes, so we did this, correct. Then I wanted to add one more thing, actually two things. So one of them is an accelerometer / magnetometer that I have right here. It's the LSM 303C. Yeah, they call it the E-compass because it's a axle magnetometer combo. I think it's a good choice because it's fairly cheap and like easy to route, and it's I2C, so it doesn't require any new pins. It's acceptable. That's not good. I strive for better than acceptable. I really don't know what to do with them, with these microphones. Yeah, so I want to mount this axle magnetometer combo on the board, and it doesn't have to be there. Like it can be optional. It doesn't have to be on every board. Just to lower the cost, you can just skip it. But I think it's better to have it and not mount it than not be able to mount it at all. So we will add this, and I'm not sure if the symbol for this is available, so let's check that. Hooray, it is. And it's this Kicad usual, which I'm not a big fan of. So, not recommended. That's nice of Kicad to put. I was actually quite confused, like what was the difference between C and D, and it's just, yeah, they did some, the footprint is different for sure, but I guess the C is improved. So go figure why is C newer than D. That's just STM. So I'm thinking this, yeah, I think I'm gonna still go for my own symbol just because I like them a specific way. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clone it so I don't have to do all the legwork. Just need a new library here. Sensor motion extra, yes. Oh wait, did I? I did select, I didn't do new, I did import. That's also wrong. Room echo, I really don't know what to do with the room. I even laid out like a bed sheet behind me so it should soften the sound, and that still is not good enough apparently. I'm not sure. I mean, the walls are like a bit empty. I could put more on them maybe to not have this echo. I'm not sure what to do. The mic is saturated. I did actually lower it so it wouldn't saturate so much. I don't know. All right. Then we have this. We do copy here. Suddenly disappeared. It's like, all right. Yeah, there you go. So we can quote fix this. And also the thing here is, I mean, they have to make the symbol generic, but for my use, I know what I'm gonna do with it. I know I'm gonna use I2C, so it kind of makes sense to modify it so I can actually just have it my way here. This I will get back to actually. Yeah, so there we go. We can go back here. Yeah, let's put it here for now. Pop filter, not sure what that is actually. I am super noob in audio stuff. Yeah, the symbol is way too wide. There's no reason for it to be. Oh, the pinout, that's like 260 pins or something. That sounds fun. All right. Does that actually help? I don't know. I guess it has to, since people use it. I thought that was more so you like don't breathe directly on it, but like the microphone I have is kind of to the side. It's not directly in front of my mouth. Right. I'm supposed to move it, not copy it. I think I'm tired too, and it's only Monday. That's depressing. Yes, SCL, correct, correct. And then we take a deeper dive in the datasheet. I did glance over it before we started, so nothing too crazy going on over here. So we have the SCL, correct, and on pin 2, it's what was this? Yeah, it's a CL, CS if you're using the SPI mode, which we are not. So this should be just tied high. And then SPI enabled, so it should also be tied high. So we can do that. These two. Then we have the SDA, and then we have a capacitor. So this is just a decoupling over here. We can copy this construct. ground is ground. Then the interrupts, we had, no we don't. Yeah, that was another thing I was thinking about, if there was a STM, like a larger version of this, or if I should put another one of these and then don't use it for the, because if you don't use this chip as the touch controller, then you get these four as GPIOs, so then you have an expander with 7, I guess 8, but here we use the mode just tied high. So I would get a few more GPIOs, because yeah, I don't know, do we want this interrupt here? I'm not sure if it's that important actually, because like CircuitPython doesn't support interrupts anyway, so could just skip it. But I want at least a test point on it. Oh, was that actually number 7? But number 11 is also test point, and 12. Yep. Data ready from the magnetometer. This one is interrupt. Right, mag interrupt. So this should be mag data ready. And here we break convention. Correct. And then we have the VDD and VDD-IO, and they had a nice schematic, or like a drawing, which I think, yeah. So IO needed 100 nano, and then VDD these two. Although I'm not sure if we're gonna put the 10 UF there also. Sure. Oh, and I lost my selection possibilities, no problem. It's somewhat, it's a bug that I'm familiar with now, so. So yeah, as usual, you learn pretty much everything you need to know from the datasheet. No magic involved. Just double check everything. Yeah, I don't remember. Right, Woodworker, were you going to Maker Faire Berlin? You said you had something from work, but then it was cancelled, right? So you might make it, I think. That was the final conclusion. Right, we need to assign the footprint, and I think they actually have the footprint for this one. Yeah, so Maker Faire is good in between work things. LGA. Bottom view, treacherous bottom view. So it's 2 by 2, that is tiny. 2 by 2, wow. There it is, that's I think the one. 12, 2 by 2. And the pitch is 0.5, yeah. That is tiny. Fun times. But like I'm not worried about the solderability of this one because it's already lost with the connector for the keyboard. Like it's already sets a standard that many people find difficult. So yeah, this is not gonna be something everybody can solder easily, unfortunately. Alright, we can annotate, because why not? Yeah, alright, I was supposed to, I need to find some switch that works here nicely. CubeCon, nice. But I can add the NeoPixel, which is the WS2 something something. That one, no, that's not the one, is it? It's this one, yeah. One of these. It actually has the footprint signed, and they're all, yeah, so one of these. Where can I put this? Maybe just here. But don't these LEDs, I'm not so familiar with these. I usually use the APA 102. Don't they usually need 5 volts on VDD? Yeah, what I'm gonna do is do the old Google. I mean, who knows better than Adafruit what we can do exactly. Oh, I see what's happening. So they, right. They use the USB or the battery actually to power. That seems to be the logic here with some diodes. Right, because the VBAT should potentially have like, yeah, up to 4.2, I guess. And then the L4, is that a buffer? What is that? What does that do? All right, that's used as a I'm sorry, that's used as what's it called, a level shifter for this data. So we get 3 volt, and then after the buffer we get it at honest just for 1 pixel. Yeah, because I could put like an RGB LED, but then it needs 3 GPIOs, and that sucks. This allows us to have 1. Yeah, I'll put that. I mean, I can always have it optional. I mean, yeah, it will be. Someone can put it if they feel like. So CT LG 1, 2. Right. And the 5. That's a funky symbol right there. I'm not a big fan of these symbols, but oh wait, because these are also VDD. Ugh. Exactly. So this is pin 3 and 5. It's ground and VDD, and this is also ground, right? Because we inverted. Yeah, so it's always yeah. So ground pointing up. That's great. Oh wait, we can. I could fix it, but then this ground will be pointing down. The symbol is not super great. So 5 volt. I want to see if there's like a V high or something like that, but it doesn't look. Okay, let's call it 5 volt, even though it's never gonna be really 5 volt, and this also kind of sucks over here. Yeah. Yeah, why do they make these symbols like that? It doesn't. I don't see the appeal of them. 5 points up, yeah. That's fine, I'll redraw it. Oh, that's great. Are you seriously? Wow, Kicad is not cooperating right now. There, phew, that was way too much work. Pixel. What am I? Sure. Problem is, where should it go? There doesn't seem to be a standard way here, at least. You can do whatever, but shouldn't one of them be normally closed? Yeah, there we go. So which one is it? One, 2, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So it's pin 6, is it? Yeah, it's on this side, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so it has to be pin 6. So we shall do it also. Oh wait, pin 6 is already. So the GPIO is that one. Yeah, there's just no standard way to do it. So 5 is used, 6 is used, 9, 10. There's like gonna be like no GPIOs left. I guess I put it on 11. Or is that one used as well also? Nope. Right. So here you have 2 GPIOs left, and here you have all the analog ones. That's a lot, but I guess you get a lot on this board. So is it justified? I think. Oh, well, welcome to live. Great. SOT25. All right, that's a nice one, I think. Or no, I'm thinking of 23. 25 is somewhat big. Okay, let's have a look. Sweden, yes. Come on, Mouser. Right, so that's the... Oh wait, there's way too many of these. That's better. So this SC, what the heck is that one? So it's about 2 millimeters, and this one is 310. I need like a PCB ruler with these so I could easily, because is this SOT23-5 and they just call it SOT25? Do I have to Google this? I can see on in OBS that the microphone picks up sometimes noises that are like background noises. And that's not perfect. So this is 23.5. It's 2.9, and this one was 2.9. Yeah, 310. So this is, yeah. Okay, so the SOT, and they even call it here. I should have noticed that. My bad. So SOT, wait, that's not here, that's here. 23.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I don't trust this footprint or the symbol from Kicad. Although they seem to have the same pinout on both packages, so that's fine, but sorry, you probably could hear that outside the window. Need to move this outside actually. Okay, that should allow us to check. So enable is 1, then A, Y, and then ground on 3. Okay, so this works. So that takes care of that footprint. This already had a footprint of some kind. That looks good. Does it have a 3D model? It does not. That sucks. Right, so now we need to find one of these, and I think then we're done with the schematic, and we're at the 1 hour mark, so that's also nice. Okay, that will take a second, so I could actually should I check LCSC or Mouser? Because I won't be probably buying these from Mouser. That's too expensive. I don't need no fancy buttons. Right, we need a few more footprints here, clearly. But since I've been copying symbols, they also copied the footprints, so that's nice. Okay, so we're fairly okay over here. Oop. There we go. So let's see if we can find something nice. Yeah, $4. Switches. Oh. Not micro switches, tactile toggle switches. You know, this one looks perfect, but it's 50 cents. That is quite expensive actually. And this one is 8 cents, so that's slightly better. Hmm. 5 cents. And a lot in stock, so it shouldn't run out anytime soon. How large is this? That's 1 centimeter. That's quite alright, I think. That seems like to be the standard size. Yeah, I think that works. Perfect. And we can only hope it has a footprint that matches something in Kicad or some standard. Did they have a certificate? Like how bad can it be if they have a certificate that expires soon? Yeah, that's good enough. Right. One, two, three. The circuit diagram. All right. If I understand it correctly, it connects this. Or yeah, okay. This is Am I confused or is this confusing? Both maybe. So it connects normally 2 and 3 and then you switch this whole thing to the left and then 3 disconnects and 1 and 2 are connected. I guess that's the logic there, yeah. Ding. Here's the slidey thing. So now the question is there a footprint for this in Kicad? It has happened before. And even this works because it's 1 and then 3. What was it? Yeah, 2 is the common one. Is it gonna be in buttons? Buttons SMD? Wow, that's a lot. So what's all dip switches? See, now we're getting in a more familiar territory. But that one had... Yeah, exactly. This might be it, actually. Does it, yeah, that it has these holes here from mounting, so it's 3 between them. Let's have a proper grid. This is 3, I can see here, like just a Kicad tip, I move my cursor here, I press space, that resets the local coordinates here, and I can move it there and see it's perfectly 3. So that's really good. Then here it's also 3 and then 1.5. So from here to here's 3 and then 4.5. Yep, looks good so far. 1.8 between these two. I mean, like here. That's a bit. But if we take middle to middle, yeah, 1.8 works. So this looks definitely 1.5 and it's 1.3, 1.3, and from center to center. Yeah, I think we can use this. That's really nice. That's nice with these Chinese cheap parts that they usually copy some standard footprint. It just makes sense. Yeah. So actually we are done on the schematic. Let me just have a think. Thinking. Yep. Just not sure where this should go. I could probably move these 3 into a separate schematic sheet. I can do that later, it won't affect anything. So what we need, and let me save, is the rest of the footprints, and most of them are just gonna be copied from the other project, so that should go pretty fast. Don't think we'll make the whole PCB today, but we can definitely get started, and at least on the placement. I had some ideas there, so let's see. Right, so for the micro SD, just open here, maybe move away. For the micro SD, I had a nice footprint. Was it actually? Maybe it was actually the built-in one. Oh damn! This is a revision before I actually had, damn, so I can't check it. What can we do? Could get it from Git. What is it? See, I never remember how to show a revision. There it is. SD. Okay, there it is. And yeah, it is the extra. Ah, it's okay. It's missing because I checked out the repo. Yes. There's a fairly easy way around this. Just yep. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I just wanted this. So if we check out right. Yes, there it is. So we can copy this to handheld modules. Okay, and then we can go back. All right. Conflict. Right. But I forgot. Doesn't matter because it's just the autosave. I don't care. We are still here, so that's good. And now I have the symbol, so perfect. Just need to add it. Wait, I haven't added any custom ones yet. Interesting. Correct, there's that one. I could have copied the 3D model also for it. Yeah, the switches are the nice switches, which I have a footprint for as well. Buttons extra. Which one is this? Now I don't remember. Right. Yeah, I was planning to use that one, but I didn't. So just the Windows Git bash is interesting. And now it worked because there was some invisible character, which is great. Actually, let's leave it in because this is my Git repo, so I might as well add it. It is verified. And then there's this one. I can double check. Yep. And then the 5-way is this one. Double check. Correct. For the BBQ, did I add it? It's the Hirose. I have no idea how you pronounce that. Anyway, I have it over here. Right, that's exactly the one. It's so much nicer because I already did this, so I have everything in place. This would have taken so long normally, creating all these footprints and oh. Yep, there it is. For the display, that was the East Rising, I believe it was there. And this is right. Yeah, like I mentioned in the previous stream, I did change between revisions from having the connector on the back to having it on the front, or like under the LCD up front. Yeah, but I want it on the back in this revision, in this feather. So it's important the connector is correct, because if it's on the front, then the actual connect the springs or whatever they are on the bottom, yeah, because it's flipped 180, but here they are on the top. So it's important to take the proper one. But this is the proper one. So and the feather, right. So for that one, I found one on the internet. Hopefully it fits. I should print it on paper and compare. But it looked pretty good. It needed a bit retouching. And now just thinking where, yeah, module, that's the extra pretty. And just find it in my downloads. I should clean my downloads more often because this is crazy. That's a step file, so that I will need as well. And that one also was, it was alright, but could have been slightly better. Yes, there it is. So I will need to yeah, give credit, of course, for this one. Where you can buy it from crowd supply, I don't know. Yeah, the problem with selling things, like it's so nice to think that that you sell something and someone will get it and they like enjoy it and use it and post photos or something, and you made it, so you're super happy. But the problem is the step between you making it and them having it. That's always like the problem for me, because yeah, first you have to make like a Tindy page or a crowd supply, which I'm not even sure how that works. I guess maybe they approach you and you sign some stuff and they do stuff. And that's actually not the worst part, because it's easy to kind of write some description, post some photos, but then what comes after? So actually getting them manufactured, and you can either do it, in China, and that's nice because they do most for you, except then you have to pay them, obviously, and that adds to the costs of the product. Or you could do like SDEN and assemble them yourself. But the problem there is that it takes time. It takes away your time that you could be spending, on doing other projects. And I don't know. It's kind of hard. Like, can't it magically appear in people's hands? I don't even need the money, just make it appear magically. I would like to cut myself out of that. Just want to make it and then people to have it. But I don't want to be the one assembling and shipping them. Yeah, exactly. So I'm not saying I'm gonna sell hundreds of these, but if it's 10, that's already, it's not 0 minutes to assemble, and it's not $0 to get them assembled. And yeah, that starts getting problematic really fast. Yeah, but in Europe it's gonna be even more expensive. Poland does have cheap labor. Yeah, someone, I don't know. It's probably not PC. Someone said Poland was the China of Europe. Whatever that means. Where were we? We were here. So I want this one here. So there's my problem. Like, I really don't want to spend days and days on like assembling and shipping and printing labels, sticking them, putting them in the post box, and just yeah, it's similar in Sweden. You hear a lot of Polish when you walk around like construction sites. Wait, where did I create this? Did I create in the wrong folder? Yes, correct. Wrong folder. Fine, I can move it. Okay, there's some music outside the window. Can it pick it up? No, I don't think it picks up, so that's good. Let me just save, because don't trust this. And then the module extra is right there, and you can see it. This is how it looks. So there's no silk screen around it, and I would like silk screen. Although with my connectors, maybe it's not so important. The mounting holes, I don't think they will be there either. So this is just for reference mostly. Well, actually, no, this is wrong. Now I remembered. I want a special footprint for this thing. Yeah, we'll get to that. And is it? All right. Right, because this symbol has the double pins for everything, so I want a custom footprint that has also the SMD connectors on them. Although that's kind of annoying way to do it, because I could just use a footprint for the SMD connectors that already exist. Anyway, let's do this. This is gonna be fun. No errors. Okay, a lot of errors. Right, the errors are because there's no pins here. Yeah, there you go. Ship it. It's ready. Ready to go. So we're missing some 3D models. Wow, these test points are huge. I actually maybe made them too huge. That's easy to change, so that's not a problem. You might laugh, but what I would like to do now actually is make sure everything has a 3D model, because that makes placing actually a lot easier in my experience. And this one is already expecting one. I was in the middle of something, wasn't I? Yeah. Ah, that's the wrong one. Connector card. Yes. So STP step. There it is. I also have a SD card that I can put here, so I can see how much it goes out, but this silk is good enough for now. So that's that one. We can do this one as well. Or actually, yeah, for that one we need to go back. But we can copy this one and these guys. Right, I don't need this one anymore. And this one also definitely not. That's a SketchUp file. Back when I made my models in SketchUp. Cool. That's not quite right. I really should have fixed this in the footprint because this is a bit silly. Oh, there's like no shadows. It's so perfectly flat. But yeah, this solves this problem for us. And then that one should also be in that folder already. Yes. Right, I don't have a model for. Oh no. How will I survive without the 3D model there? Alright. I was actually thinking this was the switch. This is the switch. And that one has a model. And that's a nice model actually. Except it's beige and not silver. What we can do actually is just take a big ol' LED, unless they are, no. We can like just do this. See, that works. It doesn't, it's not 100% perfect, but it's the same size, which really matters. Yeah. U5, what was that one? Right. Nope, I was hoping. But worst case, what you can do is take a larger one and just shrink it. QFN 16. I'm really not sure why do they keep the WRL files when now they have step. And even in the libraries, you can see they are still using those. And half of them are like missing, so kinda pointless. Exactly, so that one is not there anymore. So what if we did 3x3? Yeah, that's perfect. We need this one and this one. All right. Yeah, this footprint I will change definitely, because I will not have the mount holes. And yeah, it's mostly just for the dimensions I wanted. Whoa, what the hell? What the hell is going on here? Minus 3 billion. What? Although now I have a vague memory, I think this model was really bad. I might actually, that it was really far from the origin. That might explain. Oh wait, that's my bad. I didn't copy it. Handheld. Correct. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. It's like way over there. So what I could actually do if I started, I could rearrange it in Fusion to be proper. Just, I forgot about this rectangle. It's been there all this stream. Never mind. I put that rectangle there because Fusion has this sucky thing where it shows the name you used as your for your license here, like your full name, so I have to hide that. Actually, someone asked from the forums for Fusion, like, how should I do in the streams? And they just say, I just crop it. And that's the official solution for this. So nice on you, Fusion, or Autodesk. This is probably gonna be slow as heck on stream. Let's see. I just hope the stream doesn't suffer from this. It's been going pretty good so far, like no lag that I can tell. At least YouTube has not been complaining. All right. Take your time. I actually do wonder, did I not have it before? I do have a few models. Yeah, there it is. Well, you know what? Maybe I updated it in the later revision, but which? Yeah, we are on the latest revision. Because I added colors and stuff. It's nice now. I'm not sure what the hell is their problem, but we can export it anyway and make it nice. Any day now. All right. Modules, packages, connectors. It's loading it. It's loading it. Can tell. I sure hope it succeeds because I didn't save this. Any minute now. There you go. Such a beauty. Yeah, and it's in the proper place, Chess. Nope. Nope. Wait, that's not the one. Oh, I think, this is for the Q20, yes. Yeah, it's the 40, So, scroll back even more. So I don't have it. I need to fix that. Probably not on stream, but I can still upload it and at least position it correctly because that's gonna make it easier later. So let's see, Kicad. Here you can see my my keys, my hand, like all the key things. But that's a separate stream. Yeah, so you can see the problem. Why the hell? What the heck is? Let's fix this immediately. So that should put it in the origin. There you go. And then we also rotate it. Can I be able to? No. Whoa, I suddenly got so many new viewers. Did someone retweet something? Or, I mean, the link? There you go. Yep. That took a bit longer than I thought because it's a bit slow because I'm streaming. So now we can save this and we can export it. Oh. And later I could add colors to it as well. And then we wait. Oh, that was fast. I couldn't even get a chance to see what was happening on Twitter if someone retweeted the link. So now we should have a nicely aligned, yeah, it's just 90 degrees off, but at least it's at the proper axis, like origin is proper. There we go. Painting figurines, nice. I started painting, like I have quite a big collection of board games and I started painting some of the figures that come with that. It's quite nice, but I don't know, at the end of the day you need to like kind of decide what you want to spend your time on, and I feel like these kind of things here are more fun than the painting stuff. Maybe later at some point. Right, and then for this connector I don't, was it this one? Yeah, this pink, that's also off. You know what, let's fix this one also, because why the heck not? Yeah, so Fusion is kind of silly. So what it does now, I believe it uploads it to like the cloud, to the Autodesk cloud, to convert it to their own format, and then I get it back here locally. But all of this is really kept in their cloud. anyway. So that's always nice to not own, you know, your models. Yeah, so that's also off. Oh, it's a bit slow because I'm streaming. Sorry about that. A refresher, sure. So let me just export this, and then I can explain what I'm working on right now. We're almost 2 hours in, so could do that. I'm not ego. Right, so it looks good, even though the axes are slightly rotated, but that's not so bad. So it's a bit off. Could have been a lot worse, really. Can fix it later. Yeah. So a quick refresh. Perfectly aligned, nice. So what I'm doing is I have been working on this project here for like a year at least. I blame Woodworker. He showed me, well, OSH Park retweeted his board with this keyboard, and that's how it started. But I've been working on this board, which is like, as you can see here, it's a QWERTY phone-ish board, display, joystick, buttons, keyboard. And this is like revision 7 something. But I kind of always got stuck on the software, because here I have it with an RF52840 module, and I was writing software, but that's always the boring part. And I noticed that I moved on to kind of newer projects, that this was probably never going to happen. But it's a shame, because this is quite nice, and it got me quite a lot of attention on Twitter, so people definitely want to see something like that. So what I decided to do is spend a bit of time transforming this board into a FeatherWing, so it can be compatible with the Feather ecosystem. So this is actually what I'm doing now. You can see here very, yeah, like the E61, E63, I believe that's the one I had, or like E71, or any BlackBerry really. And what I'm doing here is I'm taking the display and the keyboard and the buttons. That's pretty much it. And then I'm putting a footprint for a feather. So this board itself is not gonna do anything. It will do only whatever you do with the feather. But having the feather connector allows you to plug in whatever you want to use. You can use the Arduino one like Atmega 32 or the Haza, the ESP32, or Grogard has a Linux one coming. I saw Greg Daville was working on FPGA one. Not sure if, I think he's gonna want to release that since he's making it in a like a standard form factor. So that's already like 4 different ways you could use this board depending on how much power you need. And I like doing the hardware part more than the software, so that takes also the software part away from me. So that's pretty much the project I'm doing right now. I want to make this as a FeatherWing. Oh my gosh, don't get me started on Greg. We can all only dream to have his skills one day. just like the photography skills, I would be happy if I had those. But yeah, to go back here, it seems we have all the 3D models, and that's of course the most important part. What we're missing here is the footprints for the connectors for the feather. And now I'm thinking how to do it in a good way, because I don't want to draw like the pins for the headers manually, but I think what I can do is not crash Kicad. That's a good start. Yeah, okay. I can just copy the footprint from the Kicad standard library, paste them here, and that SMD. That's the one. Let's have a 3D look at it. Nope, that's not the one. I wanted a socket. This is why I check in 3D. It's always good to check. Yes, this is the one. And I want to also, I've been looking for, they have these low profiles, so it's like half or even a third of this height, because this is really tall. And they're so expensive on Mouser. Oh, like €5 for one? What? No. The stream seems to be slightly lagging. I can see that. I'm not sure why. Can you still hear me? Let me know. Wait, was that not, was it 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, it was 12, not 14. I thought it was 14 and 16, but it's 12 and 16. Okay, the stream seems to be back to normal, so that's good also. 2 times 12. this one. I don't think I can do this. No, that would have been too convenient. Right, problem here is kind of aligning exactly here. I might need a yeah, I might need to check the datasheet anyway. Also, I want this. On the silk screen. That's gonna take me a second. Don't think there's a better way to do it because I don't think you can edit multiple selected lines. You can check. Like now I have 2, but no, E doesn't work anymore, so that does not work. Right, so something like this, except it's still kind of hard to say if it's actually aligned. And I think the only way I can really verify this is to print it out and test it. All right, I can't select this anymore. It's not gonna be so easy to select now because it's gonna select all these things. Oh, that's a drawing. I thought that was like a pad or something. That's just a drawing. Right. I guess presumably the middle of the header should be like in the middle of the footprint also, of the outline of the feather. But that's a bit of guesswork over here. Yeah, I mean, worst cases, or the way this should be soldered is you put the feather in the 2 connectors, then you place it on the board and you solder like that, so you know it's perfectly aligned. Except that doesn't really scale if you want it. But what I think I can do is actually take the model for all the things and see if those align. And this might take a second to find this model. Or there it is. 2x12 SMD. Yes. Great. Yeah, that's outside the window. Sorry about that again. I'm just gonna close this window. Give me a second. There we go. Right, so that aligns like this. Then we probably need the model for the feather. Sometimes wish this had, because this is a perspective camera, if it had the orthogonic, what is it called? Orthographic camera, because then you could just see from the top perfectly flat if they align. That would have helped quite a lot, like in this. At least I don't think you get that option. Oh wait, oh yeah, you do, sorry. Wow, my bad. They call it isometric here. Seriously, pixel perfect. Right, so I had the 3D model here with pinheads. No pinheads. I want the pinheads because that's how it's gonna be in there. And this is a, yeah, it's a Huzzah 82, not even 32, but it's what I could find quickly. So while I'm here, I can add also the other one. It's gonna be this one. Wait a second. And then we can hide it for now. And we can add the actual module. And that was here. Oh, that's the Kicad mod. Ah, so easy to get these confused. Apparently, at least. Loading. I think if I remember correctly, this model is not, like, the colors are off. I think this is actually from Adafruit's GitHub. They have 3D models for a lot of their boards. So I don't know why the colors would be like off. Okay, don't panic. Take your time, Kicad. Take all the time you need. Oh, I got a notification, David, that you shared my video with your subscribers. I didn't even know that was a thing that one can do. But you have 21,000 subscribers, so that's, thank you very much for that. See, right, so here is the model, and it's a bit off green, I would say. It's actually way too detailed for my needs, but hey, why not? Great. Rotations all off. Yeah, one day I will learn the axis, which is with not today. Oh yeah, so see, I had this bug before. Look, both X and Y actually rotate exactly the same. That's broken. And now actually I'm not sure what I can do with this. Do I have to restart? Because see, that's just bad. And I'm not sure what I can do about this because I need it rotated. I mean, I could, if I open the window, will that help? Oh yeah, it needs to load all the, oh. All right. Nope. So that's broken and I can't fix it. So that's really sucky. And I don't really want to restart Kicad because then it takes forever to load the footprints and the stream slows down. So I don't think this is super high priority right now. So I can just finish putting the other one, align it somewhat correctly, and it's fine. So that's the one. We save this. Actually, don't need the courtyard also, but let's just copy it anyway. I think here it actually could be easier because, yep, because the middle aligns. Wow, this grid is way too big. Something like this. Well, that's a total mess, but no worries about that. We can fix this. Let's hide that one then, if it doesn't want to cooperate with us right now. Nice. How come I never saw this button before? I don't think it's new. I think it's always been there, I just never clicked it. I mean, this makes it so much easier. 0.6. Actually, since this is off-center, these values should be the same. So let's say 0.7. Hello, Victoria. Welcome. I'm currently struggling with a Kicad bug where both axes do the same thing. So that's great. But anyway, we have a basic thing, basic footprint and 3D model, and we can fix that later. All right, I need to remove the holes. I don't want them because this is a kind of single-sided load. Like the other side will have the display and the buttons and the keyboard, but not really any quote real components. It's kind of like the PCB is the front plate of the device, so I don't want any holes in some random places. But what we need here is we need to renumber these headers, because I have a custom numbering also here. So if we go here, one and one, two and two. Actually, this is a bit silly. Right, I made it twice because sometimes I connected two things and Kicad was complaining. Hello. So now we will have 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. This will take a second. That's not the most fascinating, sorry about that. But it has to be done. Can I do this at the same time? Nope. Well, I tried. Yeah, this is not even, I don't need to on the tree just to verify it. So yeah, you came in on not the most exciting moment, but I mean, this is the reality of electronics. It's not all glamour and excitement. Sometimes it's just renaming pins for 10 minutes. But just for a teaser for people who just joined, this is what we're doing. Oh, I can't move it if I'm in there. Kicad is not making life easy. Oh yeah, there it is. So this is what we're working on right now. This is the whole, this is pretty much, that's all gonna be on the board. We have some buttons. I can show 3D here. Now this is the footprint I'm working on right now, so it's not updated yet. We have the joystick, we have 4 buttons, we have a keyboard connector and a keyboard, well, it's not just a microcontroller that I have a custom firmware that translates the keyboard into I2C. Then we have the LCD connector, micro SD connector, a single NeoPixel, like for displaying status. Just someone had that idea like on Twitter, and I thought that's kind of cool because older phones used to have that RGB LED in the corner just showing random status. And then yeah, we have a switch here and we have an accelerometer, tiny accelerometer. So it's a fairly basic board, but I think it might be useful. Like in the right hands, people can definitely have some fun with it. Yeah, this is normally, just so you know, normally it's not this slow, Kicad. It's just that when I'm streaming, it's a bit slower. Just to be expected. But yeah. This program, it's called Kicad. It's an open source alternative to Eagle, I guess, or to Altium. So it's used for making schematics and PCBs. And sometimes my life very difficult, but most of the time it's fun. David, don't. I'm not a wizard. Kicad is surprisingly, like, I don't know. Many people say it's hard to get started in it, and maybe that's true. I mean, I've been working in it for like 2, maybe 3 years, so it's definitely hard for me to say if it's hard to get started in it, but once you get the hang of it, it's thank you. It's quite easy, I think, especially since there's so much you can do with just keyboard shortcuts. So once you get a hang of those, you're just like snap, 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 if you're not streaming. All right, so we're done with this one. Let me save. The only problem with, well, one of the problems with Kicad is it sometimes likes to crash and then it doesn't save what you've been doing. So remember to save often. It's just now like a just muscle memory at this point. Just save, save, save. And then, all right, so on this one we go 17 and up. So we're almost done on this side. Does it make sense to flip this? No, it doesn't make sense. Nope. So I promise it will get interesting when I'm done with this, because we will actually start doing the outline of the board and placing some components, and while you place you can see it in 3D, and that's kind of, I really like that. And that's like, oops, that's wrong. So I was using Eagle before Kicad, and yeah, I made do but it was definitely lacking stuff like yeah, like 3D models. I think now Autodesk actually has some integration since they bought it, but I've never looked back. Let me just, no. Oh my god, I'm distracting myself. You know what, this is silly. Talking and Kicading is not easy apparently. And the 17 on the side here is also confusing me. Or you know what, this is, yes, this is also wrong. Let's start from this side, might be easier. But yeah, and also Eagle had, I'm not sure what's the situation then, but back when I started with Kicad, had the limitation, I believe it was only 2 layers, and the board was, I don't know if it was 10 by 10 maximum, something like that. And that was fine at the beginning, but as ambitions grow and your projects grow, it became not enough. So yeah, I switched. Another nice thing here is, and that's something I had to get used to as well. It took a second. 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. Yeah. And is that in Eagle, a part is defined as like a pair of symbol and footprint, and that's tied together. Again, that's based on my experience way back. And that's all in fine, except if, you know, like for pin headers, I think you needed a separate pin header symbol for each different kind of pin header. But in Kicad, the footprint and the symbol are totally separate. And what I did before, there's this dedicated window for that, is you assign them to each other. So you make a QFN symbol once, and then that's kind of it. Although in Eagle, you also did it once because you had the libraries. I'm not sure anymore. Maybe I'm just talking nonsense, because I get distracted by this. But yeah, it is definitely a difference between Eagle and Kicad, that you assign these footprints separately. I think I'm correct in that regard, that in Eagle like a resistor 0609, 0603 and 0805. Those were two separate symbols. But in Kicad, it's just a resistor, and then you assigned the size for it. 25. Right, that's how it is. And this is taking way too long. My talking is not helping. Almost done. Let me just save. It's actually, it's not so bad. Like when I started with Eagle, it was version 4 something, 4.0, very early. And it used to crash a lot. Now I think it's gotten a lot better. Like version 5 is really where it starts getting really good. They really, I think they got some donations from people, and there's some people working on it like full time, and it's definitely getting there. All right, so this is done. I can close this. Now I should be able to just, oh no, never mind this. Right, so now we updated this one. I'm still not sure why I don't need these. I can take care of these later. Loading. Oh, and that that sideways feather is still here. I'm not sure what I can do with that, with this. At least right now, I would have to restart Eagle, Kicad. Right, so as I said, this is based on a board I did previously. So what I can do here is I can actually copy at least the outline, or actually a few things, because the placement of many things here is perfected over time, over multiple revisions. So I would like to copy that. So what I want to copy is the outline and the drill holes. Right. Then I have the outline of the LCD, and that's probably gonna change because in this revision the LCD was, as you can see, perfectly in the middle, and I have posted a poll on Twitter asking how it should be in the actual thing, because the problem is, I think I can show you right now. Come on. The problem here is if the LCD is perfectly, actually I can even do this, yeah. If it's perfectly in the middle, then the active area is to the side. So if you draw something in the middle of the display, it's gonna be here. It's not gonna be in the middle of the board. And that makes it look nice and centered on the board. But yeah, the image, it's not. So I did a poll on Twitter asking how should it be? Should the LCD be centered or the active area? And like 98% was it? It was really, really high. Said the active area definitely should be in the middle. So I will have to move it to the side. So the active area becomes the middle here. But I still want the outline of the whole LCD because, as you can see here, I have a drawing of where the flex cable is. And that's really important. Like you want the flex to actually reach the connector. And then I have a drawing of the keyboard connector, because that's another thing that has a flex cable. So I want it to be aligned properly. And here I have an outline of the keyboard. Can do this. Should have made this a footprint. Then here I have a hole, because the BlackBerry keyboard I'm using, it has a built-in microphone actually, which is quite nice. It's a nice bonus. And it's on the bottom, like on the back side of the keyboard. So I make a hole in the board of the PCB so sound can get through easily. I haven't really tested that microphone too much, but I don't see why it shouldn't work. And I did, in this board, add it as a optional test point that you can just solder and enable it. So someone can enjoy it. Right, so is this everything actually? Right, this is the 3D, this fiducial here. Yeah, sorry about the keyboard and the mouse. The microphone I'm using is not so great, but I make do. But I'm glad you're enjoying it. So this fiducial, or whatever you call it, this dot over here, I use as a stand-in for the footprint for the LCD. So it's right in the middle of this rectangle, and this is the actual footprint that has the 3D model for this LCD. So then I know it's in the middle. And it's the same, I believe, with this one for the keyboard. So I will copy these as well. Okay, now I think we have everything we want from this board. I'm gonna copy here. This is actually new, like in 5.1, I think. When you copy, it tells you where should the reference be, because before it was wherever your cursor is, and that's so now it's better. Yes, there we go. So obviously I have now double footprints, but that's not a problem. I will just replace the one I just copied with the proper ones. I think I want a bigger grid actually, so I'm aligned properly there. So now the PCB should be to the side and all the parts to the other side. Yeah, that's no problem. Or I missed a segment maybe. Yeah. So did I actually miss a segment while copying? Because if the outline is not perfectly closed off, Kicad will get sad. And I think it's actually here, but we can draw that by hand. Just need a proper grid, even more proper. Oh, it's not a track, it's a... Oh, that's... Yeah, I think that's the reason why this is so thin, because they changed the default thickness between versions. So when I did this a year ago in like 5.0 nightly or something, it used to be this 0.2, but now it's 0.05. I'm located in Sweden, but I'm not natively Swedish. So my accent is not representative of Swedish people. There we go. So that was the missing thing. So now we have this nice footprint. Now this has to get here. Fiducial, whatever. Right, so we can copy these models. So we will have a nice 3D model for everything. But before that, what we can do is, yeah, I need these. So I can actually put it in the correct place. It's quite nice that they actually, like if you saw that dialogue, it said delete again to actually delete the locked item, because that footprint was locked, and I will also lock it now, which means I can't move it like once it's placed now. And that makes sense, so I don't move it accidentally and screw up the board. Oh, that's taking a long time. There we go. Yeah. So this pinkish connector, is it beige? Pink. It's now it's located where the previous one was, and it's all good. We can do the same here. So this is the connector I copied from the other board, and the one I want to use is here. So I can move it in there. I don't think, all right, I can do this. So U1, yeah, so it aligns perfectly with the other one. So now I select, guess I can't select the other one because it's locked also. So if I unlock it, then I will be able to select it, I believe. Oh, it's not locked footprint, but see, it doesn't ask me. It should ask me which one I want to delete. Yeah, that's a bit annoying, but I could do, yeah. There we go. I just manually looked for it. And now we lock this one. And I should have copied the 3D model from it, but that's fine. I have this 3D model, so we're mostly good. And then the same for these. Actually, these buttons will change because now I have 4 instead of 2. But let's do this anyway. I feel like there was a better way to do it actually, but at this point it's fine. Right, this should be rotated 45 degrees, which I don't think you can do with a key combination. So we want to delete U5. Yep. So good so far. And let's see. We just delete. Are they? Okay, one thing at a time. I want to see if they're slightly offset actually. They're not perfectly in line. Oh no, they are. It's just Kicad. So we can delete these. And then we find perfect placement for where to put the new 2-1. So 34 millimeters here. There's gonna be 2. So we need to divide this into 3 equal points. So 34 times 3, 11.3. There's 1. And There's the other one. And then we can place the buttons. So let's see, how are they? This is left 1. And this is left 2. And now, is it stage left or is it my left? It does, no, it does matter. Actually, this is reversed because this is us looking at it from the back. Like if you see here, yeah, we're looking at it this way. So now we're actually adding the right buttons and these are the left. So we leave these over there and we take these two. These two we move there and we flip them. Right. How does this look? It's interesting. I mean, they are equally put over here, but does not look as good because visually the distance here seems smaller than like the distance here and here especially. So do we actually want them like equally distributed? It's hard to say without trying it first. Looking from like far, it feels like we would want them slightly to the right, actually. At least it feels like. So maybe we should, I think we're gonna have to do that because or actually BlackBerry Q20, sure, a classic. For reference, or like the front. Yeah, like this one is quite far here. So maybe it makes more sense if we divided this whole space into 5 equally sized regions and then put these in the middle of this each region. I wonder if that would actually look better. It kind of feels like that. We can try it, I think. So this whole thing. Okay, I measured I measured 34, so it's 68, and then it's 5, so it's 13.6. So, oops, that's I just want to duplicate it. There you go. Yeah, that might work better, I think. So it actually, yeah, it divides equally, so that's nice. Right, so we're perfectly on the line here. So now we need the middle point of this. Wow, that's gonna be really far. Oh. I think we want to test this at least. So much math right now. So now these are yeah, I don't know. Now it feels like they're a bit too far to this side here. Like your thumb, if your thumb is here, it's kind of so far. I don't know anymore. So what I'm thinking is just move it slightly. And maybe also now it's totally just random. But I think it will look fairly okay. Yeah, I think this is fine. Now the problem is we have to duplicate this on the other side. So copy here. Oh. And again, to check, this was number 2. But this should not actually be number 1, number 2, 1, 2, 2, 1. Ah. We can rename them later if it becomes confusing. Oh, I see what's happening when I duplicate. I just don't get a option to move them, but they actually are duplicated. Loading. Yeah, it looks a lot nicer, I think, than just 2 of them. It's kind of like so much empty space, and I mean that's double the buttons. Wow, it looks so strange in the isometric. But yeah, I think this is quite alright. So we have this basic stuff over here. Now we're missing the 3D models here. We can easily copy them. And now I'm conscious of my typing because I got reminded that it's quite loud on this microphone. So sorry for that. Yeah, you can see here I still have the, like in the first 2 maybe revisions of the other board, I actually had a 2.8 inch display, but it was larger. Sorry. It was like wider than the keyboard, and it didn't look as nice because the top was wider than the keyboard, and I didn't want to make this kind of a reverse pear shaped board, so I just went with a smaller display, and that makes it look a lot nicer, I think. Yeah, so I also modeled the flex cable here. So we have now a nice, fairly realistic representation of what's going on. It's quite important for when you're designing cases to actually remember that there is a flex there and that you need space and stuff like that. So this is cool. Yep. So we're getting somewhere, definitely. Can close this. Did I make any changes here? All right, and yeah, that should be saved. Yep, so we need the keyboard as well. Yeah, and the flex, but the flex I actually put on the connector. Correct. Why does it have to? Am I closing this window all the time that it has to actually reload all the models, or is it that just Kicad being silly a bit? Yeah, so yeah, all the models you can see here, the keyboard, the buttons, the joystick, and the LCD, I made myself in Fusion actually, because yeah, I couldn't find nice enough ones that I liked. So this is like these are one of the first models I made in Fusion, and I was quite happy with Fusion. I used to do my 3D models in SketchUp, of all programs. I mean, it's more of architecture stuff, but like they changed the license and it became, I think, web only. Like SketchUp has been just thrown around everywhere because it was developed by some company originally, then Google bought it. I think they integrated it into Google Earth, so you could make 3D models for like houses and everything in Earth easily. But then Google being Google, they lost interest and they sold it out. And then it was fine, but then it got sold again, and that's when it became, I think, online only. And I said, no, that's enough. And I switched to Fusion, and I'm really happy because it allows me for so much better. Just it has so much more functionality, and it's a lot nicer. Like in Fusion in SketchUp, it was really hard to create actually curved surfaces. It was mostly made for just like square stuff. Nice. Yeah, Fusion actually has a like that was my problem. I didn't want to switch to like Blender or something like that because the SketchUp workflow was really nice, that you draw it in 2D and then you extrude it and push and pull and all that. And I was really looking for some program that allowed me to do that. And Fusion allows you to do exactly that. You do a sketch first and then you pull and extrude and all that. And it's really nice. I can definitely recommend it. And it has a hobby/startup license. Like if you don't make, or if you make under, I don't know, 10,000 a year or something, like dollars, it's free. And I don't make any money so far of these things, so it's not a problem. So I think we could add the flex just because it looks cool. See, so I modeled this as well in Fusion based on my own measurements of the flex cable. Oh shoot, I don't know if we can rotate it because of the, oh. Wait, so rotation in here, we can rotate on all three axes correctly. So is it back to normal now? Can we fix the other one? Yeah, I use it for 3D printing stuff as well. It's quite nice. Wait, something is off. There. Point 6. Ah, good enough. This is all for reference only. Nope. That was like the only thing that was correct, actually. Yeah, it just swallows the whole connector, and that's fine. So now it should look quite nice with the flex going. Because you have to remember to actually not put components where the flex goes, at least. I mean, you're somewhat limited there, and like, it's easy to forget. At least I found it sometimes easy to forget, even with the silk screen. And this is so visual that it, like, this is exactly how the flex goes from the keyboard and how it connects and how it bends. Like this makes it so much better, I think. All right, so that's some basic component placement that we definitely needed. Let's revisit this feather, or actually first we can hide all these silk screens that we will definitely not use because we don't want anything like that on the front silk. There might be some stuff on the front silk, but not these. Right, I can hide the hidden text. There it is. Okay, this is the moment of truth. Can we? Is it something about this model? Why? I would so like it to be able to rotate it. I could rotate it in Fusion, I guess, but it's gonna take some time and it's gonna be really slow. But screw it. Let's do it. And Fusion is damn slow when I'm streaming. Oh, we're getting really good viewership today on the stream. Thank you, David, so much for the share. It's really nice. Like, I really enjoy the back and forth of the stream, so it's not just me, well, talking to myself and just doing these things. I really like it, and it's hard to do that with just 2 or 3 viewers, and I don't need to. I don't want to, take away from those 2 or 3 viewers, but it's obviously the more the merrier. So it's really nice. So thank you so much. Loading. We're closing in on 3rd hour of the stream. Not that it's a problem. Just keeping track. Okay, so let's make this proper. This is how Kicad sees it, isn't it? Yeah. So now the top is top. That makes sense. Oh wow, that's interesting that it's actually nicely organized in components. I should still be able to get the middle point of it. Yep. All right. Right, so now at least it's in the middle, and now we need to rotate it slightly. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, David. Glad you enjoyed it. And it will be nice to have you again. So we need to rotate this. Now I set the pivot in the middle, and that's very nice. So we need to rotate it. Where's my, there it is. Oh no, this is so slow. There, and then down. Oh, that's the wrong one, but I think I can still fix this. Oh no, this is actually correct. Wait, did that say? Oh no, it said 260, so 275. I can rotate it 5 degrees. Or actually, shouldn't I see this on the timeline here somewhere? Ah, never mind. Just need to set the pivot. And then 5 degrees. All right. Good. I think we get all the components because this was, I believe, made in Fusion. So it saves all the components very nicely in the step file. I guess this will take a second. Okay, let's see what we got. Is this enough to have it reload? Seems so, because it's taking forever. Yep. And it's loading, and it's loading. Wow, that's taking long time. It's worth it for sure. Ugh. So what else is happening? Oh, what the hell happened? Oh, phew, I thought it crashed. All right, then we just need to offset it a bit up. Oh, this is actually perfect to see. And it should be moved slightly closer. We can actually do exactly that. Now let's remove this courtyard because that's just a leftover from the actual thing and we don't need it anymore. Oh no. Alright, so that's definitely a time-consuming thing that should not be done on the stream because stream slows down the PC. So yeah, when this loads, I won't be moving the footprint anymore, just the 3D model, and then we're done with that part. Now, I can discuss what's next, because I've been thinking already about how to place the feather itself, because there's few things to consider there. And one of them is the USB. Like obviously you want the USB to stick out somewhere off the board. So if you have a case, it's accessible from the side or from the top and the bottom. So like in the previous board, I had a USB on the bottom, and that's because it was just a USB. There was no huge board attached to it, and that was fine. But now it might not be so good anymore to have it because that would take this whole thing, like this whole board would be there as well. And my thinking, because my thinking was to have the battery near the bottom because that's like the heavy thing and you want the device to be actually bottom heavy so it stays nicely in your hand, like it doesn't slip forward when you're holding it. You don't want to, you have to use a lot of kind of grip to keep it in your hand, and placing the battery on the bottom solves that and is tested with the other board. So you can't have the feather aligned so it's facing downwards because the battery wouldn't fit here. So I'm thinking, if possible, to have this facing up, so at the top of the board. I'm just worried if there's enough space for this whole thing with the LCD connector there. So we will look at that in a second. Right, so this we moved, this one we moved, and now wrong side. Right, and when we enable this one, yeah, I think this is as good as we can get. I mean, I could move it like 0.5 millimeter, but I don't think there's a point. So we're actually pretty good. Right. So the only thing, see, I was just using Fusion, so their panning is shift and wheel, and I was trying to do it here also, but here it's just left mouse. So this is how it will be actually. That's correct. Wow, there's so much space here then. Oh wait, it has to go way higher. 9.6. 7. I guess 10 was fine. Yeah, there you go. So that's, and as I mentioned before, with the headers, they're so tall, and that makes this whole construction here really high, which is a bit annoying because it's gonna stick out a lot on the bottom. So that's another thing that you don't want under your, like when you hold the device, your fingers will be touching the back, so you don't really to be touching this board, not even because you might like short something, but because it's just not nice to touch. And might get warm, like ESP might get warm, and you don't want to be around that. So the battery seems more better to touch, at least it's like smooth. It might also get warm, but yeah. But I mentioned they are low profile headers, which are like 1/3 of this, and that would be really nice, but they are so expensive. So I'm looking for some source from like AliExpress on Alibaba or something like that for a low profile SMD dual row 254mm female connectors, and it's not so easy right now. I will have to get back on that. But now this should be really nice looking. The module is aligned. I might have to wait. Right, I'm in the footprint. Need to update the footprint. There we go. So now the whole board should be, I think everything has a 3D model now. Okay, I know why this happened, because we did the rotation locally and it inherited that, so we can fix that super fast. I thought it saved that part, but no. Yeah, so there we go. So see, this is another problem. So I think I should be able to align this, so this connector is actually under the feather, like between the connectors here, and that's my only hope, really. But then this might get really close here, and that's problematic because this is just a 2-layer board. Yeah, but let's try it. Actually, I could, yeah, because I started talking about the considerations where should this be put, and one thing was the USB, and the second thing is the battery. You want to be able to, when you connect the battery, to have the cable go somewhere that's like convenient, and you have to consider the length of the cable that comes with the battery. So these are the things we have to consider. See, this is tight, and the holes cover the other holes. And we can't do this because there's the flex here in the way. So this is actually not so great right now. Okay, but let's ignore this. Let's say this hole is not there. What can we do? I mean, maybe it's enough, because you can route between the connector there, and you can just do via in pad, which is not great, but it's an option. So if we did like this, that's very tight. Here I thought we had so much space. Oh, that looks interesting. Yeah, so here that's quite enough space, and there it's, so this could work, I think. tight, but could work. Problem is, look how thick this case will have to be just because of these connectors. I guess you can, no. I'm thinking if I should make a custom footprint that's all the way long, so then you could just solder the module directly to the board. But no, you couldn't. No. This will stop you from doing that. So you need those headers. I mean, we have quite a lot of space because consider that all of this can be used, and even under there's so much space. It's just these big things over here. I mean, one of the options is to go back to having the display connector under the display. The problem is one, that as you can see here, if the connector is under, you need some way to still stabilize the LCD, because then it's just wobbling kind of on top of this connector. So you need like double-sided tape kind of on both sides. And the second thing is, right now you can see here the buttons and the keyboard are taller than the LCD. So if you make a case that kind of goes on top of the LCD here, they still go out of the case and it's no problem. If you add the connector, the LCD goes up, goes higher, and then it kind of becomes same level, like up to here. So when you make a case, it adds another like point something millimeter, and it becomes difficult to actually press the buttons. I mean, the joystick already needs some 3D printed knob or something like that there. So it gets problematic like that. Yeah, alternative to this would be if we actually ignore totally what I just said about the connector, about the feather being under your hands, and just do this. Give it a second there. Oh, never mind, that's not doable. At least not in the center, it could be to the side. See, so such a big board, and yet there are definitely problems that you have to get around. It's mostly this USB that's being, excuse me, being annoying. And this could have been solved if each feather had the data, like data pins as test points, for example, here, because then I could have a pogo pin that just connects, and then I could route those wherever I want. But nope. Then what other options do we really have? It's unfortunate that this cutout is actually close to the USB and not on the other side, because maybe I could fit it like here if the cutout was on this side and could just cover the LCD, but that also is not possible. I don't think it makes sense to have it to the side, because it would have to be here so it doesn't go on top of this cutout. There's this cutout also, so it would have to be like just here. That's just no fun. This model is way too detailed. It actually, well, it makes everything slow just because it's so detailed, and I don't need such details. You know, that's an option. I mean, if it's charging from the side, it's not the end of the world. So if I could fit it somewhere here, I think we could make it work. But no, see, it doesn't fit anywhere here. Sorry, did I get a text? Let me just... I just have to text back. Just 1 second. Okay. Let's see, what can we do here? And none of this will really do because of the flex here. So the best we could do is something... Or actually, no, this... It's fine if we can do something like this. Because here we have the cutout, but we only care about the connector here, so that's fine. And here we won't have that drill anyway, and this board is quite in the air. Yeah, see, so that doesn't matter. But then the problem is, like, where do we put the battery? I guess here, but then there will be quite a lot of components here, so... There's other questions that are a lot easier to answer, like here's our NeoPixel and where it goes. Well, it goes like here. Just need to on the other side. Let's say it goes here, and this should be invisible. But is that the pin 1 marker? But the thing is, oh, that's just evil. This is not up to Kicad standard. Kicad standard seems to be that the overhang is usually on pin 1 and it's on pin 3. That's wow. What we can do to actually fix that is can like manually draw something like this, just so I know myself that this is where pin 1 is, because I know it will bite me in the butt if I don't mark it properly. See, so you can have this NeoPixel here. Actually, it could be even closer. So yeah, and you can use it for status. I can see it blinking different colors for different statuses. Sorry, just one more moment. Right. So right now I'm not sure what's the best solution for this feather placement, and that's definitely something I need to decide as one of the first things, because this will define a lot of the other placements. I might post a few options on Twitter and see what people say. What seems the most like community favorite. Another option is of course to remove these double headers. Then it gets a lot narrower. I could fit it here a lot easier. But you lose access to all these GPIOs, and it's supposed to be breakout board of sorts. You need that. I think this might be a good point to finish and take a breather, get some sleep. It's 11:30 p.m. here. So yeah, let's wrap up. Thanks so much for watching. Now we only have 2 people, so most left, but thank you anyway for those who stopped by, and thanks for watching if you're watching in the archives. And see you next time. Bye.